association. An attitude of good sportsmanship should be upheld by all spectators, athletes, and coaches. Please respect the integrity and judgment of our game officials. Thank you. And it's football time in Skokie. Welcome to Chuck Hall Stadium. Home of the fastest show on turf, the Purple Rain defense, and your Niles North Vikings. Niles North.
Good evening, Vikings, and welcome to tonight's contest between your Niles North Vikings and the Niles West Wolves in this 2024 Skokie Skirmish. My name is Anthony Bramley.
And I'm Jacob Ornstein.
And this is going to be game of the season here for both teams. Niles West visiting Niles North, coming up Grosse Pointe Road, ready to take on this tough Viking team. Jacob, let's get a little bit of background on this series in the past couple of years.
Certainly, Anthony. As of lately, West owns the Vikings in this series. Last time the Skokie Skirmish was home at Lawler, a.k.a. when we won, it was 2019. 2019. To put that into perspective, there's been a whole pandemic since the last time these Vikings went out. Of course, the 2020 season, only 3 games, these two teams didn't play. But nonetheless, this is still an amazing game, and it is high stakes, and we're just about ready for kickoff. The excitement is in the air, Anthony.
Definitely. These Vikings all the more motivated by new head coach this season, promoting New North, Gary Butler. This team is ready to get going, as are the fans here at Chuck Post, starting the Viking Thunder Clap. Ball goes long and touched by the Wolf. Number 34 again stopped at the 29-yard line. Great stop by the Viking special team. That was great run by the Wolf.
Yeah, certainly. I saw Graham Oslin closing him down, making sure he can't get up the field. Great play.
Yeah, and on the run is Ivano Pogorelic. Great job, Wolves. They're going to get started here at the 29-yard line. First offensive snap of the game is upon us, Jacob.
Yeah, certainly, Anthony. And doing some research on this team is going to run the ball out. They have a very shifting running back and a nasty offensive line, especially led by their center, number 59, Tyler. He is nasty.
Yeah, 34, fumble. And the Vikings recover. Wow, what a way to open the game, number 34. Again, Ivana Pogorelic losing that one on the first snap.
Anthony, now that's what I call momentum shift. Amazing play right there. That is crucial for the Vikings early on, establishing, and they are setting up in great field position. Now, they did struggle with this last game with Elk Grove. Hopefully, they can make things happen and win the turnover battle once more.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be set up on the 35-yard line here. Vikings, prime position to get the energy going early on in the 2024 Skokie Skirmish. Waiting for the snap, you got Nicholas Socorro, the QB, number 7, and number 6, Graham Oslin in the backfield. Motion by Kuros as well. It's going to be Graham running through. Great yardage. Will be just short of the sticks by maybe a yard or two, Jacob.
And Graham Oslin, do not let that man get a full head of steam. He is an angry runner. He bounces that thing outside. He finds open grass. He is running you over. You know, one time during practice, he had an aggressive run just like that. Got laid out. Coach goes to check on him. The first thing he says, "Didn't hurt, Coach." He has no fear, and he is quite the running back.
Yeah, definitely. Will be offensive holding on that one. Send him back quite a few yards now at the 45. Now 1st and 20. Replay of down, of course. Motion by Robinson, number 88 for the Vikings. Coming back. The snap is off. Socorro in his hands. Short yardage and dropped by Grom Oslin on the quick route.
Yeah, certainly Anthony tries to hit Oslin on the screen there. He can't quite pull it in. A little bit of an inaccurate pass there. Socorro struggled a lot with that the previous game. So it's interesting to see how he's going to regroup. So far, not off to the best start for him, but I think we could see him regroup as the game goes on.
Yes, Socorro great with adaptability on the field. And while he does struggle under pressure, like we saw there, he will most likely bounce back. Vikings, 2nd and 20 from the 45. Socorro fakes the handoff, and he's going to scramble for a pass outside his body and a big hit. Number 2, Ahil Khan there to stop the play right there.
And you're going to see that a lot with West, Anthony. Ali Kuros has been the Vikings' #1 target all season. Socorro keeps finding him, and West has known that. They've done their homework. They are going to hunt Ali Kuros all down. They slow him down. That's their key to victory.
Yeah, Ali Kuros plays both ways on the field and was a big asset last week against the Elk Grove Grenadiers in that homecoming game. Seeing him also emerge as one of the big weapons here for this Vikings offense. 3rd and 20 for the Vikings early on in the game. Socorro pass down the middle, and it's Devon Robinson, the tight end, with quite a few yards after completion. Looks like he was down at the 33.
And Robinson getting the ball there. He was targeted quite a few times last game, but he never really could quite pull it in. Able to get it there, and it is 4th down. It looks like the Vikings are going for it. Bold move by head coach Gary Butler.
I mean, hey, why not? Very early on in the game, and not a bad field position to turn over on downs on. And they were going to try to draw him off sides. Well, instead be a false start on the offense, presumably.
It is indeed a false start, and the Vikings were trying to draw West off sides there. Instead, they kind of turned the tables on themselves. They jump a little bit there. That backfired.
Yeah, definitely. Great idea, though. Just poor execution, and Wolves wiser than that. You see the play here. You got Oslin lined up beside QB Socorro, about 7 yards back. Snap, and it's going to be punted high into the sky. Be knocked all the way back into the end zone for the touchback. Wolves ready to regain.
I don't think that ball really got the bounce Socorro was looking for. He's normally a great punter. He could typically pin him back deep, but unfortunately that's just going to roll out for a touchback, and that's going to come all the way out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it might have been the height on it. Socorro, again, great punter, just very high and went a little bit longer than expected.
And, the nice thing about Socorro at punter is because he's a QB, that kind of weaves in the possibility of a fake. And we've seen it before. The Vikings have been able to motion into a punt, essentially audible into a punt, because when trying to draw off sides. So it's an interesting thing that they could do with Socorro with his punting and passing abilities.
Yeah, definitely. The Wolf finally stopped somewhere in the midfield, maybe a gain of 4. And he was looking tough. He was not giving up on the play, Jacob.
Yeah, certainly, Anthony. Number 0, Leon Zachariah. He is shifty, and you're going to see him do a lot of those moves all game. He's not going to quit. He's going to run through contact. He's going to zigzag up the field. That's exactly what we saw him do against Schaumburg last week. So it's interesting to see how he's going to do that to the Vikings now. West did lose that game, but Zachariah was able to get a lot of great yards.
Definitely Wolves looking for a high snap and facing the handoff. He's going to get ahead if you and fumble. Could the Vikings get on top of it? Jacob, could you see if the Vikings got a hand on it?
I couldn't quite see, Anthony, but it looks like the official's going to signal that he was down on contact. So that's going to be 3rd down and a little bit of a ways to go.
Unfortunate, but again, the Vikings defense trying to seize in these opportunities. That's now 2 fumbles by the Wolves offense very early in the game. Vikings trying to take advantage as the Wolves await the snap. And there it is. It's going to be number 34, Avano, rolling on the ground. Great pressure by the Vikings.
And Spencer Pearl bringing in the boom. He has been outstanding for the Vikings this season. He's been everywhere. They throw him in at linebacker, and he just seems to cover the field perfectly every single time. You love to see it, and he's making things happen right there.
Definitely. Pearl, a great asset to this Vikings program. Might have been a gain of 1 by the Wolves. You're going to see the punt here. You got number 3, Ali Kiros, lying up around the 52, just out of the camera's view. And it's got some air on it. Going to go for the fair catch and let it roll. Clock will stop, and the Vikings get it at their own 47.
Yeah, another off punt there. You know, it is quite a windy night here at beautiful Chuck Post Stadium, so that's going to play a bit of a factor, I think, a lot in this game, especially on special teams. However, good job of the Vikings. Recognize that. Poison, get out of there.
Yeah, definitely. It's so windy here, in fact, that our top camera that you're seeing the view of right now was knocked over by the wind earlier, so not a fantastic situation for a punter. And it'll be the Vikings getting ready on the snap.
You know, if I had a nickel every time our camera fell over mid-broadcast, I'd have 2 nickels. First attempt for the Vikings. Squirrel drops back, able to hit Williams, bobbles it a little bit, but he's got more. Move those chains, Adonis Williams.
Adonis Williams, one of the great players for this team. Hasn't seen a lot of action offensively this season, but he is getting his chance here tonight, Jacob.
Yeah, the sophomore sensation Williams. He is the backup quarterback for the Vikings, but also they like to throw him at a receiver, and he could do a lot of interesting things with that. You could run him out of the Wildcat. You could also do some crazy trick plays with him. That's how the Vikings got their opening touchdown off a trick play, shoveling it off to Williams, throwing it deep. So he's going to be another key factor for the Vikings offense, and it looks like he's in a quarterback right now.
Yeah, this is something that they tried last week against the Grenadiers. Worked out for them at first. So we'll see how it plays here tonight against the Wolves. High snap and fakes the handoff. He's going to try to run through and gets about 7 on a great run there by Williams.
Yeah, Williams shifty on the read option, able to just bounce that outside and gets a very nice gain, a gain of 5, I believe. Just overall great play there by Williams. And he's got speed. He's a pretty good athlete. And the Vikings are going to utilize him a lot. Socorro, he's got the arm, but Williams, he's got the wheels. So so you got an interesting double dip combo there.
Yeah, definitely both of them making up pretty great quarterback unit for the Vikings. And they'll be lined up here at the opposing 30, 2nd and 5. Snap and immediate handoff to Oslin. He's going to run straight through the middle, and that'll be first down.
Grom Oslin, the angry run once more, able to just absolutely work that footwork. That's just, he was shown an absolute clinic with his footwork. He was able to just break into the turf and able to just hit up the middle and gets the first down. Move those chains, Grom Oslin.
Grom Oslin, you're going to see him again and again trying to run that ball through the middle. And it's a show of confidence here by the Vikings because normally you don't want to play under such a protected and covered area, but you know, Grom Oslin got that dog in him. 6 minutes left in the first quarter, and it'll be Kiros running through flag is on the play, but he's going to keep going down at the 20 or the 16.
Yeah, great run there by Kuros. There is a flag down in the field. I wouldn't be surprised if this is called back on the Vikings. But overall, great job by Kuros to bounce it outside. Absolutely embrace contact. He's a small dude, Anthony, but he is strong.
Yeah, definitely. Ali Kuros been a member of this program for 4 years. Obviously trying to put that work in. And we saw him as a freshman. Not necessarily confident on this field, but now coming out as a senior here, 2024, looking great, and he's been one of the most reliable members of this Vikings offense.
It is going to be holding on the Vikings, and what I can speak about Ali Kuros, I played with him freshman year, actually freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I was a former member of the football team, and I have seen him grow over the years. I mean, as a freshman, he was small. He was a small, lanky dude, but he put on some absolute muscle over his time here at Niles North. It just speaks to the amazing nature of our strength and conditioning department. So here's Socorro, high snap, picked up by Oslin, and the Wolves are in there in the backfield, brought down by a pack of Wolves.
Yeah, Oslin again. And might have been a bit of a scuffle. There's the flag.
Yeah, bad blood there on the field, Anthony. These two teams do not like each other. They're going to get a little chirpy all game, and it's going to be fun to watch. It's why these rivalry games are so fun.
Yeah, you just usually like to see that attitude being shown in the play. They're going to rule no flag. And it'll be second and a ways for the Vikings coming out of the snap. Clock will run. And North will come out of the huddle. Lined up, ready to go. And on the snap here, we do want to highlight setter, number 50, Christian Vargas, who's been developing great over the season. Saw him earlier games, like against Schaumburg a couple weeks ago. And unfortunate there, B. Williams getting devoured by the pack for a loss of quite a few.
Anthony, please don't jinx him like that again. Just an absolute blooper there by Vargas. Other than that, he is a very solid player. However, he is just a sophomore. He's learning on this team, and sometimes he makes plays like that. Overall, though, it's going to be third and a county mile.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that he's been developing great over the season, again, more consistent with his snaps. But we saw maybe freshman year Vargas come out there. Unfortunate. Could have also been a miscommunication between the backfield and Vargas. But Vikings quite a ways back. Ball is spotted at their own 48, and it'll be 3rd and 39. And this is going to be a big play here. Williams with the ball, running laterally, and a loss of even more. Did go out of bounds perhaps, but the clock will keep running. 4th down, and going to bring out the punting unit here, Jacob.
Yeah, it's hard to see, but for how not minimal of anything that play was, you gotta highlight Williams there. He was absolutely lethal with the stiff arm there. He's aggressive, and although he didn't get much on there, that's still a great play by him. It really just shows his hustle.
Yeah, definitely. Just was run to the side, not forward, but we got the pressure on you like you did from the Wolves. It's going to be tough. Pressure by the Wolves on the punt as well. Went very high by Socorro trying to get over. And ball is at the 22. Wolves not in great field position, but could have been a lot worse.
It could have been. I saw that punt go up, and it did not look good, although able to take a pretty good bounce and puts the Wolves back just a little further. So overall, not a bad job by Socorro.
And we got a new set of downs here for the Wolves. Just over 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Still scoreless. Awaiting the snap. It's low, straight to the chest, and it'll be run quite a ways by number 3, Tyron Marshall. The 30, the 20, the 10, and touchdown Wolves. Potentially late hit. Yeah, and we see the flag. Well, it'll be Tyron Marshall for at least a touchdown. That is 6 for the Niles West Wolves with 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter of the Skokie Skirmish.
Wow. Hang on, Anthony. This might be called back. It looks like the play is going to be called back on the Wolves.
And what a loss of momentum for the Wolves here. Could have been a big score. It got them out relatively early, but instead it's going to be called back and it'll be timeout by the Wolves.
Yeah, I was a little worried that it was going to be an unsportsmanlike on Kuros. A little bit of a late hit there. I mean, it just speaks to the chirpy nature. But it looks like it is going to be on the Wolves.
Yeah, you know, especially since that flag was coming pretty late. It was actually in the end zone. And I wouldn't say that was a little late. I'd say that's later than it ever should be. Not clean football, but in a game like this, it's unfortunate that we have to expect it.
Yeah, certainly. Let's see if we can get this call in the field.
In the meantime, we do want to highlight our student activities department with the newly introduced interim director, Susie Shaba, doing a great job of, you know, keeping our student activities department going. We have over 95 activities here at Niles North High School. So if you are a student here and want to get more involved in your school community, check out north.niles219.org/student-activities. Definitely a bit of a long URL, but I'm sure if you just search up Niles North Student Activities, you'll get there.
Yeah, the student activities department does a lot of great things at this school. It's just fun to see. They make it so we can have a great night like this at beautiful Chuck Post Stadium. I wonder if they funded the fireworks pregame.
Yeah, that was pretty fun to see. And we're seeing the call right now. The penalties were offset, so they did count that late hit by Kuros, but that will replay the down.
Well, it looks like the Vikings are going to catch a little bit of a break there, but overall, you cannot be doing that. You cannot be giving away penalty yardage to West like that. Classless move by Kuros, but overall, you're going to expect that. These two teams hate each other. They're going to get chirpy. Overall, though, look, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Niles West.
But, of course, as the IHSA likes to promote, we need a positive attitude here at our sporting events. We're going to have the clock roll as we await the snap from the Wolves. It goes, and they hand off again. They're going to try to replay the play, and if they lit it up again, oh, my goodness, Marshall will walk out just short of the 30-yard line.
And he nonchalantly kind of walks out of bounds there, Anthony, untouched at all. And now I think West is starting to sink their battleship. They're starting to see what makes this Vikings defense tick. What is their weakness? And it seems to be they are struggling to cover outside in those outside runs. And West, you're going to see them run it a lot. And also watch the offensive line. You're going to see them pull. It's a lot of trap. It's a lot of movement back there. So keep an eye out for that.
Certainly. Wolves. Ball at the 34 and fumble picked up, and we could be looking at a scoop and score here, folks. The 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown Vikings. It'll be number 24, Tommy Vo off the fumble. That's a scoop and score from 65 yards away. Your Vikings take control of the game.
That is the magic of football, Anthony. Tommy Vo taking it from one side of the field to the other. Wow, that blazing speed by Tommy Vo. You know, they've been trying out in many positions right there, but they've been recently throwing him at end. He is able to get that scoop and score. Amazing play. Run, Tommy, run.
TiVo with the great score for the Vikings. And again, this Vikings defense is being coached to jump on those opportunities. They see the fumble, they go for it immediately. A player like TiVo, that's going to get you down.
And you know, the turnover battle was big. And oh, looks like that was blocked by Niles West.
Was blocked by the upright. Unfortunate by the Vikings, but hey, we are up 6 with 2:18 remain to go in the first quarter.
Man, the scenes here at beautiful Chuck Post Stadium are livid. I see Spencer Pearl comforting Tommy Vo after that amazing run. Big plays by TiVo. Having jumping up and down like a little kid.
Yeah, who can blame him? Very fun by the Vikings defense. We're going to give the Wolves a chance here. And part of what might be throwing fuel on this fire here is number 19, Asani Dixon, here for the Wolves. Formerly on the Niles North team, playing on both the sophomore and varsity teams. Now he's here for the Wolves, deep in the backfield. Could be taking this punt.
Taking this punt, maybe taking this game personally, Anthony. It's interesting to see playing your former team. That's a lot of pressure, and I think he's going into this game with the mentality that he is going to run up and down the field on this team. So let's see what he does. It'll be entertaining to watch.
Most certainly, Jacob. Vikings getting ready here. Be Sikora to take it, and the wind is going to knock it off the block.
Think they'll reset the thunderclap?
Yeah, well, you can probably hear the thunderclap. A great addition this year to the Viking lore. And here it goes. Long and touchback. That'll leave the Wolves at the opposing, or their own rather, 20-yard line to get us going.
Yeah, I think Asani Dixon, he saw that ball coming to him, but he knew that with that speed, that ball was going to go right out of bounds for a touchback, getting out of the way. Because, again, if he touches it and the Vikings come down on that ball, that is a turnover for the Vikings, almost like an onside kick there. So, overall, a great high IQ play by Dixon, reading his former team very well.
And it'll be the Wolves far back, ready to go. 2:18 on the clock. And when on the snap, gotta have a motion. And it's going to be handed off. These great run plays by the Wolves as Christian Guzman is taken down around the 40. First down, Wolves.
And a great job again by Niles West. They're bouncing it outside. Adjustments, adjustments, adjustments. That is what the Vikings need to make right now. They're getting killed from the outside. And seeing how that's West's bread and butter, they got to reassess. They got to regroup. They got to make sure that West is not getting any space outside. Overall, the defense is going to need a lot of work right here in order to stop this Niles West outside zone.
Certainly, Jacob. It's going to be timeout called by the Vikings.
Yeah, I think head coach Gary Butler just trying to make sure everything was okay. Maybe didn't see something he liked. Overall, though, hopefully making adjustments. I think with covering Niles West outside. Beautiful night here at beautiful Chuck Post Stadium. The student section is out. They are loud. The theme is whiteout, and they have understood the assignment.
Yeah, most certainly. Also have white boomsticks out here to add to the fun here tonight. You got Victor Viking in the stands putting on a little show, getting his groove in. And Obviously, the fans here at Chuck Post Stadium are entertained, as are the Wolves. You can see them on the far end of our camera angle. They've got signs, they've got fans, they've got energy here.
Man, who's got energy is Victor Viking. That man is busting a groove right now. You know, I put on that Viking helmet. Does not smell good.
Well, I figured it'd be like strawberries and butterflies, Jacob. Hey, both teams will reapproach the gridiron. And it'll be Wolves 1st and 10 from their own 40. Snap is high and another handoff. And brought down by 2 Vikings. It was number 92, Peter Boonis on it first. Taking down the number 3 from the Wolves, Tyron Marshall.
Yeah, Peter Boonis, he is nonchalant but very aggressive. You're gonna see that a lot from him. You know, it's like when I see him in the class, I have sociology with him second period, and he's quiet, he's reserved, he's typically in the back of the class, but taking good notes. But once he gets on the field, he is a brand new person. He is aggressive. He is a crash out. It is fun to watch.
Yeah, certainly, Jacob. You love to see it out of Peter Boonis as the Wolves line up for 2nd down. Snapped and handed off to speedy number 2, Al Khan. He will be brought down for a gain of 2, though, down the midfield.
And guess who was on that tackle, Anthony? None other than the number 92, Peter Boonis, able to pick the ankle there. A nice, nifty way to get him down. And that's going to bring up 3rd down at about 5 for West.
Yeah, clock still running toward the end of the quarter. 30 seconds as the Wolves make a substitution. Coming on will be number 1. I'm sorry, no substitution. 20 seconds now. The Wolves looking to get off another play in this 1st quarter. And the motion and handoff be Ihel again for 1st down, and then some down the sideline, the 30. And it looks like he stepped out of bounds. 3.5 seconds to go in the 1st. And you just got to notice how fast he stopped in his tracks.
Yeah, and everybody noticed, too. I saw multiple offensive linemen just waving that off like, nope, he is out of bounds. Trying to bounce it outside there, and he is dangerous with that. We've seen West work it before throughout the game, and they have killed the Vikings with it. However, they are starting to adjust. I think that timeout actually gave the Vikings a very good breather, talk things over, figure out how, okay, this is what they're doing. This is how we attack them now.
Yep, and last play of the 1st quarter. Tyron Marshall running around the outside, and that'll do it for quarter 1. Your Niles North Vikings are up 6 against the Wolves with 0 after 1 quarter of the Skokie Skirmish.
And, you know, I believe that with the end of the 1st quarter, this is the first time all season the Vikings have ended a quarter with the lead. So a lot of improvements that have been made with this Vikings offense, and also the defense. The defense has been aggressive. We saw Tommy Vo jump on that fumble and scoop and score that thing all the way to the back of the end zone. So overall, this has been a great quarter of Vikings football.
Certainly. We will be back in the coming minutes. Stay tuned. And look at this view of our cheer squad entertaining the fans here at Chuck Post tonight. And there they are, too. You might be able to see us through the window as well as we get ready for quarter number 2 of the Skokie Skirmish.
You thought I was crazy for wearing a suit.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but Jacob Orenstein looking very dapper in the booth. I'm looking like a schmuck. I got my sweatpants and my athletic T-shirt. But, hey, we're having fun here at Niles North Viking Media. So while you're here, make sure you subscribe. You can always access us at nnvikings.com. That's nnvikings.com. Jacob, what can we look forward to in the 2nd quarter from the Vikings?
Well, I definitely think the the turnover battle is something to look forward to. The Vikings have been aggressively attacking West. We saw on the Niles West opening drive, first play of the game, they fumble. And the Vikings, they are all over that. So they are being hot on the ball, and that's something they struggled a little bit with Elk Grove. They couldn't get on the ball as much. And also, when they did make opportunities, they weren't able to capitalize. They weren't able to put it into the back of the end zone for 6. So it's interesting the adjustments this Vikings team has been making.
Certainly looking at second down here and 8. That'll be the number 12 from the Wolves, running quite a ways. Christian Guzman finally downed at least 10 yards further.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're yet again defaulting to that outside run. It's been, the Vikings have been struggling to cover it a little bit. They have been slowing it down a little bit, but it's interesting to watch how they're trying to catch up a little bit. They can't be letting West get outside because they are going to find grass, and eventually they might find purple.
Most certainly, Jacob looking dangerous here for the Wolves as they got 10 yards, first down, spotted at the 24. Snap and handoff right through the middle, and it'll be Tyron Marshall taken down by the Vikings for a gain of 7 or 8.
Can you dig it? Spencer Pearl giving him the spin-a-rooney there. Great aggressive tackle by Pearl.
Yeah, and Pearl again, one of the standouts here, especially one of the younger guys in this program. And, we have a lot of seniors here at Niles North football. I'm looking forward to our volleyball senior night coming up in October, I suppose. But we got a lot of seniors here on this football team, and so going to be looking forward to these developing players as Coach Gary Butler calls the timeout. And it's kind of incredible. Last game against the Grenadiers at home, Butler was not really using any timeouts. He was letting the boys play, trusting them to get it going. Now he's taking a more conservative approach, and it seems to be working so far, Jacob.
Yeah, 100%. I think I like what he's doing. I like this conservative approach, trying to call these timeouts. He is not afraid. He also trusts the Vikings that when it matters most, when they're going to need those timeouts, getting within the last 2 minutes of each half, they are going to make good time. So make these little adjustments, making sure the Vikings are going to be in good position as the game goes down the line. And overall, he's just able to give them good coaching, making great adjustments.
Definitely, and I'm sure you could hear the wind slam down the top hatch on our press box, also shaking the camera downstairs.
It's a windy one, Anthony. Rhodes. Look at the finish the story for West. Hands the ball off up the middle. Gets a couple there. Ball carrier, Ahil Khan. Nice little solid run there by the Wolves.
Wolves in the huddle, 3rd and 2. Also, again, dangerously close to the end zone. The Vikings defense has got to lock in. Here's a snap, an immediate handoff, and a loss of yards. Great pressure by the Vikings. I see Williams and a couple of others on it.
Yeah, Williams and Vo coming together there. The power of friendship. Anthony able to just bury him deep in the backfield. And I believe West is going to try out the field goal unit, although they might go for it here. I saw their kicker warming up on the sideline, and it looks like West is going to go for it. John Rhodes coming back out for the Niles West Wolves.
Definitely. It's a bit risky here to go for a field goal at the high school level with the amount of wind we got going right now. Be 4th and time out by the Vikings yet again. It'll be their last of the half.
Yeah, I think Butler is trying to make make the Wolves second think this a little bit, maybe get in their own head. Mind games. That that definitely plays a factor into these big rivalry games. There's a lot of pressure for both sides. West is 2-2, off to an okay start, and they want to push going into the conference play. And as for the Vikings, they are fighting for a playoff spot. And in order for the slim chance of that to happen, they are likely going to have to win out to have any chance of winning the CSL North. So it all starts here, and so it's crazy to think.
Yeah, certainly. They're 0-4 to start. Historically, the state series has worked where they take the top 256 teams. Those are usually stopping at the 6-3. Occasionally, they'll get 5-4s in there. So we'll see. All right, let's focus on the present as the Wolves are 4th and 5. And timeout by the Wolves. Both teams feeling the pressure here, just 18 yards away from the end zone.
Yeah, and thinking about it, I think I know what Butler was telling his boys. Watch the ball. You got to watch the ball. Wes is going to try to draw the Vikings off sides. Unsuccessful there, and I believe they still have a timeout. Yes, they actually have 2 timeouts left. That was their first of the half, looks like, according to the scoreboard. So good job on the Vikings, able to not jump off the ball and give West the first down, especially in the red zone here. And might we see West trot out the field goal unit once more? And it appears so. Their kicker, I believe, number 13, Alex Juszczyk. No. He is lined up at receiver. Rhodes is in. West is going for it.
Dangerous play, but again, why not? Still lots of football to play. And again, not a bad field position to turn over on. It'll be the run right through. And pass broken up by the Vikings. Great pressure. But hey, that play fooled me. Could have fooled the Vikings. Great game IQ by that Vikings defense.
Yeah, that was a lethal play action. See, it fooled me too, Anthony. I saw him running up the middle. I thought it was a Wolves touchdown, certainly, but able to get that perfect fake. Overthrown, though, so maybe he should have handed it off. Just saying. Vikings are going to set up with a turnover on downs.
Yeah, and quite a long field to go for the Vikings, but better than having a 6 on the Wolves side of the scoreboard. They're going to line up now. You got number 3, Ali Quiros in the backfield, weighing along with Nick Socorro. Friends for a pretty long time, and it also shows on the field. Be handoff to Quiros, going wide and cutting through, and taken down by several Wolves. You know, they couldn't use just one.
Yeah, but Quiros able to get a great gain on that. Ali Quiros, such a freak athlete. And you know, we're going to show you guys a little clip from the homecoming pep assembly. So what you're seeing. We'll talk a little more about it later on.
Davon Robinson taken down. And we were trying to tell you about the athleticism by Quiros. And usually that's their main weapon. It goes to Davon Robinson on that one instead.
Yes, can we get the video up again? I love this video, guys. Wow.
Yeah, having some audio issues there. But again, just showing off the athleticism by Quiros.
Vikings. There's a flag on the play. Delay of game on the Vikings. It's a 5-yard penalty. Take a fourth and about 9.
And we're back. Little bit of some technical issues there. So far, in case you missed it, overall, not too much from the Vikings. They did get a delay of game, and were forced to punt. Overall, both offenses not really making too much happen so far in the second quarter, as we are inside 4 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, it'll be Wolves lined up for 2nd and 7. And clock did stop, but we're going to get going again as the Wolves get set for the snap. Goes, and the immediate handoff is to number 34, Ivana. Did he step out of bounds, or was he taken down? I couldn't see.
I believe he is going to go out of bounds. The clock is stopped, so likely, yes, he is out of bounds. And just overall, just trying to bounce it outside. We've seen him do it time and time again. The Vikings are starting to figure it out a little more, so that's hopeful to see. Overall, though, Wes is still working that very well.
Be a personal foul on the Vikings defense, and that's going to move the ball quite a ways, Jacob.
That's costly. You do not want that, especially with a close game, with going into the half. The Vikings have a lot of momentum, and they want to keep that momentum. They do get the ball at the half, so it is pretty interesting to see. But overall, they got to work thing. They got to not have costly penalties like that. That's what's going to kill them in the end. And there's a screen by Niles West.
Yeah, he's going to run through and stopped for a gain of maybe 5. Great run there by the Wolf. And throw a little bit long for the official. And speaking of officials, there's a dangerous shortage of them in the state of Illinois. So if you want to stay involved in your community, stay active, and make a little bit of money while you're at it, please consider applying to be an IHSA official at ihsa.org. That's ihsa.org.
If you don't think the calls are right, down the stripes.
And it'll be 2nd and 6. Will be timeout first, though, by the Wolves. I mean, what do you think they're talking about? Obviously, not a lot of time left. They're maybe trying to manage it a little bit, but I figure there's enough time where the Vikings could get the ball back and do something. Maybe they want to let it run.
Yeah, I think West head coach Nick Tereso, I think he's going to cook up a nasty play here. Perhaps something outside. He knows the Vikings struggle to cover that, so it's interesting to see what they'll do exactly. As for Gary Butler, he's telling his boys to lock in, lock up close. Wes is going to drive down. They are thinking 6 here, especially with the missed extra point. Wes is looking to potentially go up by 1 going into the half, which gives them a little bit of momentum. I mean, Niles North has struggled to get a lead at the half, and so it's interesting to see.
Certainly, Jacob. 2nd down for the Wolves. Be snapped and handed off. And again, it's number 34, Ivana Pegorlich, running straight through the coverage. We'll get a gain of maybe 3.
Yeah, it looks like West quarterback John Rhodes fooled me again there. I thought he was trying to hit his receiver on the outside there. Hands it off up the middle. So interesting play right there by the Wolves, and that's something to take note of. Rhodes is really good at those play fakes.
Yeah, certainly. And again, same play for a touchdown, Wolves. Great fake there by quarterback John Rhodes to let his boys run it in for the touchdown. Now tied at 6 with 2:05 remaining in the first half.
Just a clean, smooth, textbook run right there. He found his hole. He smashed right through the hole and into the back of the end zone for 6.
And now they're going to go for the 7th. Lining up. And that kick is going to be good. Wolves take advantage with little time in the first half. This Skokie Skirmish.
Yeah, West taking the 1-point lead. Although if I am the Niles North Vikings and I am head coach Gary Butler, I'm treating this as a tie game. Do not let this momentum kill them, because this has been overall a great game by the Vikings. This is probably the best football they have played all year. I mean, they haven't played the best football all year. They are off to an 0-4 start, but they have been steadily improving game by game, and you're seeing it here. Although, watch out, because Niles West is not going to let them have this one pretty easy. They are going to lock in, especially with this high-stakes rivalry game with all to lose for both sides.
Certainly, and the Wolves fans prematurely waving goodbye to the Vikings. But hey, you love to see the crowd interaction, in a mostly positive manner. Two minutes to get a play going for the Vikings as we await the kickoff from number 89 of the Wolves, Luka Sajovic. We're going to lose the ball to the win again off the block. Again, tough environment to play in, but I'm loving the temperature right now. It feels good. Yeah,
a nice steady breeze going over Chuck Post Stadium, although the wind is definitely a factor. That ball's been blown over multiple times. It happened with the Vikings earlier. Funny enough, maybe consider a holder.
Certainly, as Sajovic gets ready to go. And straight to the Viking. He'll run out of bounds. It's number 1 on the receive, Zach Hempen.
Yeah, and I saw West do something interesting with their kickoff. They had a guy almost from L5 just go around and kind of run up the sideline where Hempen was getting the ball, maybe trying to lay him out, make a big statement. Overall, though, the Vikings, decent return there, and they are going to set up shop just shy of the 35-yard line.
It'll be at the 33 for the Vikings, 1st and 10, final drive potentially of this first half. Socorro getting ready. Looks like you have Kiros in the backfield. And it's going to go right to him. Run along the outside and taken back. Vikings not impressed with how they tackle, looking for the collarbone call.
And Kiros is strong when he's not that strong. Just absolute aggressive hawk down right by Niles West. He's going to get a yard on that, so kudos to him.
Yeah, and here's Socorro under pressure. He's going to throw that ball out. Great reception by the assistant coach of the Wolves. And lucky he didn't get a call for intentional, but looks like he was out of the affected area. Be 3rd and 9 for the Vikings. And they need to make up some yards to continue to have this ball move. Vikings in the huddle. Just around a minute and a half left to go in the first half of this 2024 Skokie Skirmish. They'll come out. Number 1, Zach Kempen looks particularly ready, and he's going to get one-on-one defender. Could be looking for that same route he runs along the sideline. It'll be Williams at Q to run it for not enough, but still a pretty substantial gain, Jacob.
Yeah, Williams able to just pound that through, able to get good space. Overall, a great gain, and it looks like we have an injured Viking.
Unfortunate to see as athletic trainers Don Palmer and Joe Paywall run over, as does Gary Butler. Both teams will take the opportunity to take a knee and discuss what their plans are for the remaining minute. We will be back in a few. And the Viking will get up, number 15, Adonis Williams, with the grit. I don't believe he'll be returning to the game, but shout out to him for being so fearless on the gridiron and doing the most for this Niles North Vikings team. Both teams will now reapproach. And we do want to shout out our athletic trainers, Don Palmer, Joe Paywall, and unfortunately, Dennis Minkus is here. He was not there on the response, though. But we have all 3 of our great trainers here to help out, keep our players safe. There's the pass, no good. I think that was 4th down, Jacob.
Yeah, and that was actually a punt there, Anthony. She messed it up a little bit, but he is able to get a good bounce out of bounds, and West is going to take up shot, but it looks like around the 47-yard line.
Yeah, I guess I got to be paying more attention. But it does speak to the kind of level of punt that we're seeing here. How can Socorro improve to get them further down the field?
I think it's all in the feet placement. You know, when you're punting, you want to hit it with the side of his foot. I think he might be hitting it with almost the top of his foot. So I think overall he's just got to get a better eye on the ball in order to get it far. So, and also you got to take into account the wind. The wind has been a huge factor for the Vikings. So just be aware of your senses around surroundings.
Definitely. And incompletion. That could have been scary, though. Number 12, Christian Guzman running far down. And that Wolves O-line giving quarterback Rhodes a pretty good chance there. Only one Viking broke through. I think it was the number 67, Hammurabi Kafarkas.
Yeah, certainly. This West offensive line is one of their strongest suits of their team. Yeah, a lot of people talk about their running backs, but this offensive line has been clearing holes for him this entire season. So gotta give a little kudos to the big boys up front.
Most certainly. Now under a minute to go in the first half. Be 2nd and 10 for the Wolves. They're going to try to get the ball moving. Motion and a little screen pass for quick gain. Will bring up 3rd and maybe 6.
Yeah, tries to get him on the screen there. Not able to get a whole ton. Number 24, Tommy Vo, able to just lock him down, shove him out of bounds before he makes anything nasty happen. Good adjustment by the Vikings to cover the outside. And looks like head coach Gary Butler is doing something on the sidelines.
Here's 3rd down for the Wolves. Line up for quick little pass in front, and it'll be number 3, Tyron Marshall going. Taken out at the 14. And flag is on the play. What did you see anything going on troublesome, Jacob?
Might be holding on West, but I'm not exactly sure. They are walking back, so I believe it is going to come back a little bit here for the Vikings. For the Wolves, rather. It looks like head coach Gary Butler is having some strong words for Tommy Vo. Vo and Butler have had a great relationship all season. You know, I talked to Tommy Vo a little bit about his relationship, and he's talked about how Butler has just been a good role model for him. He's been getting him right all season, especially at a time where he really needed that guidance. Just an amazing conversation I had with Tommy Vo that one time. So, a great coaching dynamic. It really speaks to how much Coach Butler cares about his team.
Yes, certainly, and that bond led to TiVo with that touchdown in the first quarter for the Vikings. We're going to correct the timeout that was given on the broadcast. It'll be the Wolves at 3rd and 9. And here's the snap. Immediate handoff. And stop, but runs around the wall. Marshall finally taken out of bounds. Or down just short. You know, it's very hard to tell from this angle, Jacob.
Yeah, Wes is saying it's a first down. The chains are staying for the time being. Yes, well short of the first down, it appears. And it's going to be 4th and a few. And this clock is ticking.
Yeah, I mean, given the clock, I think Wolves just might as well go for it. Although they don't look to have a lot of initiative here. 15 seconds on the running clock. And it looks like the Vikings, or the Wolves rather, are not going to go for a final play this half. And they just try to run the clock as much as possible. Will be 0.03, or 0.3 rather, seconds on the clock. We don't have that level of granularity on our score bug, so we'll show you the one.
Yeah, a good move there by head coach Dick Terreso for the Niles West Wolves. Making sure West can certify one last play going into the half. And this could be key to momentum. If West makes something happen here, that puts the pressure on the Vikings, and they have a hole to climb out of. Right now, West is only up 1, but treat this as a tie game because it's a one-score game essentially, and that's going to be the key for the Vikings in the second half is just to attack on offense. The 6 that they already have came from a Tommy Vo scoop and score, so you want to see them really try to figure it out more on offense, trying to drive down the field and really make things happen, because right now they're not making a whole lot happen, and the defense can only hold on for so long.
Yeah, well, this Vikings defense is going to go for some long coverage with the final play of the half by the Wolves. And lined up for a field goal here. A little confused.
Why not?
Oh, there you go. And does not have enough on it. No attempted return either. So that is... Oh, yes, there is. Looks like there was a tip, and it'll be Kiros trying to run. He breaks out, running back. And, oh, my goodness. That is going to be year half. Ali Kiros fighting on for dear life. I guess we'll show that video again of just how incredible he is. That athleticism he tries to put on display here and just didn't work out. Do have an injured Wolf as we go into halftime. We'll see you then. Oh, but Jacob, you have one last comment?
Ali Kiros is a freak athlete, a freak of nature.
Yeah, and that's why he's been getting so many looks on all sides of the ball. We will see you soon.
This team is ready to bring the heat tonight. Bright shine in the mountain. Now, give it up here. Now, Vikings annual Junior Vikings Dance Clinic next week. There's still time to register. Registration closes tomorrow at noon. Contact head coach Shen Washington. Info registration. The Niles North marching band is excited to be back on the field and cheering for the Viking football team. Tonight's performance will feature a drum line, followed by a rousing rendition of El Show. Great Vikings. The Viking marching band is under the direction of Mike Moorman, with student drum major Aiden Radisek. Great job.
And fantastic job by the Vikings, coached by Shannon Washington, and our drumline and marching band, headed by Mike Mailman. Two great programs here in our fine arts and athletics departments.
To the north side of the field, our sponsor, Jersey Mike's, is sponsoring.
And we have a sponsor tonight, Jersey Mike's. We're going to have the Jersey Mike Field Goal Challenge here tonight at Chuck Post Stadium. You're a big Jersey Mike guy, Jacob.
I'm more of a Jimmy John's kind of guy, Anthony, but overall, I do love I do love Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is actually my favorite. What was that about Jimmy John's? I do not like Jimmy John's. I think she's missing it, though.
Well, let's see. She's got the wind up. She's got the stance. Oh, she's going to readjust here. And from this angle, it looks quite daunting. It's going to be Addison Lockerbie getting ready to go. And the kick is good. Addison Lockerbie wins some sandwiches. How about that?
What a kick there by Lockerbie. I believe she's a player on the girls' soccer team. Great kick over there. And I just want to say, I love Jersey Mikes. Sub above, Anthony.
Yeah, she's going to get a Jersey Mike. Couple free sandwiches at least. Powerful kick, especially into the wind. We heard it from the house announcers, into a 30-mile-an-hour headwind. So very impressive. We'll be back with some more Viking football in the coming minutes. See you then. And it's Julian Donegan here to welcome us back to the Skokie Skirmish. Second half coming up in a minute as the Vikings get back on the field to warm up their legs yet again. Jacob, I'm excited. Are you?
Oh, I'm super excited. This is the best football the Vikings have played all season, and it's just been an entertaining game so far. Absolutely electric. 7-6, the Vikings unfortunately missed an extra point, meaning West is leading right now. But that 6 came off an electric scoop and score by defensive end number 24, Tommy Vo. And it's just plays like that that have just been fun to watch. And it's just these are two teams that are going at each other and going at each other hard. and it's something you'd love to see in just a high-stakes rivalry game like this. I'm super excited for this second half of football, and what I will say about the Vikings is one big adjustment they have to make is making sure West cannot kill them outside. It's been a big problem. West has been running the ball outside, and the Vikings haven't been able quite to stop it. So if they are able to slow that down and pick things up a little more on offense, I think we are shouting a V for Viking victory at the end of this.
Certainly, this looked great from the New North Vikings here in the Skokie Skirmish. Great environment on both sides of the field as well. The West fans and the North fans getting ready for another half of Viking football. This halftime has been extended by a couple of minutes. But while we have your time, we do want to invite you to our Niles North Athletic Boosters Club. It's nnabc.org. By supporting our Viking athletics, you get access to free football and basketball tickets for the 2024-2025 school year. So again, please consider joining at nnabc.org. And for the adults watching the stream, those 21 plus can attend the Niles North Booster Bingo Night next Saturday, October 5th from 6 to 10 p.m. Going to be bingo, going to be, I believe they're going to have food and drink, going to be a 50-50 raffle, and just a ton of ways to support these Vikings. So, hey, if you're an adult, please swing by and make sure to get tickets at nnabc.org.
B1. Do you have bingo?
No, hit me another.
I-12.
I didn't have that one.
Free space.
Well, hey, I got one token on my board. Just about 1.5 minutes to go before we get back into Viking football action. I'm very excited. Also, again, got to shout out the great performances by the Vikettes and our marching band here at Chuck Post Stadium tonight. Doing a great job of keeping the energy up. Also, we got our cheerleaders. I mentioned Julian Donegan, who probably has a headache from all the flips he was doing to welcome us into the half. But we also got the whole squad down there ready to keep the crowd hype.
Yeah, Julian Donegan. I don't think I've ever seen a man do that many flips that many times. That guy is a freak athlete. We have an amazing cheer program here at Niles North. They're always in contention for IHSA State in cheer, Anthony.
Yeah, last year they ended up 13th in the entire state of Illinois in cheer. So great work by our coaches, Natalie Haas, and a few others I know, as well as the student athletes down there on our cheer team. A little bit more time here before we get going into an electric second half in the Skokie Skirmish. Wolves on the field. Officials ready to go. Vikings now coming onto the field, led by number 1, Zach Hempen. We're getting ready to receive the kickoff into the second half. We've got Ali Kiros and Joshua Regis far back, ready to take this down through the field. We've already established Kiros' athleticism, but Josh Regis has also been a standout on this team. Looking for the kickoff, number 89, Luka Sejovic, ready to go for the Wolves. He's wound up, he's releasing, and we'd like to welcome you to the second half of the Skokie Skirmish. And it's number 1, Hempen, being assisted by a couple of Vikings. And he is down just short of the 30-yard line.
Yeah, nifty running there by Hempen. Honestly, what brought him down the most, I think, was his own man. So a little bit of a miscommunication, but overall just a great return by him, and that's going to bring the Vikings out to about the 30-yard line, setting up in great shape to start the second half.
Certainly. You know, you're saying first half because you just don't want it to end. Again, the energy here tonight is electric. It's one of the best showings we've had this entire season.
I don't want it to end. And noticeably, number 15, Adonis Williams, is in for the Vikings. He went down what looked to be a nasty injury late in the second quarter, but he is back. Really speaking to the grit. And Kuros able to get a good gain on that. And he's going to get a first down, just diving through, getting that ball through the sticks. Ali Kuros, an absolute freak athlete.
And we're going to see 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 40. Vikings lined up. It's going to be a high snap and handed off to number 3, Kuros. And flag on the play as he comes down.
Flag was awfully late, but a pretty good run by Ali Kuros overall. Looks like the official's talking to the Vikings.
Yeah, I've got to say on the topic of Kuros, you know, he was one of the primary weapons against the Grenadiers. I don't know how many times he was hit by Socorro, but he was definitely the most well-represented Viking. Now they're spreading it across all the receivers and runners, and it's definitely showing Kuros able to make bigger plays with more energy.
Yeah, but it looks like that is going to get called back at the Vikings. I'm assuming holding, but it's going to be 1st and 17 for the Vikings.
Not ideal, but the Vikings are ready to go. Clock is running. And it's snapped to Socorro. Short pass again to Kuros and taken back. Again, a loss. Looks like a flag was thrown. Jacob, could you identify anything?
No, I'm not quite sure. A little bit of conversation going down. Looks like number 65, Julius Kabad, is signaling this is on West. And this is going to be on the Wolves. Not quite sure what that is, but looks like the huddle quickly breaks and runs all the way up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, 15 yards off the penalty, and this has been one of the, probably personal fouls Jacob might have heard him just say. But we're going to see a running clock here, and it's these types of mistakes that have been momentum makers or breakers for either team tonight. High snap and handed off to Kuros again. Fumble, and Devon Robinson can't get on it. It's recovered by the Wolves. See who it was? I think it was number 7, Kevin Foley.
You can't do that. You can't do that. The Vikings were driving down the field. They were having the momentum on their side. Ali Kuros just doesn't have the ball quite locked in there. Coughs it up, and West is going to take over with the turnover. Not a great start for the Vikings in this second half.
Yeah, these small errors, it was what was doing the Wolves in the first half. Obviously, that first drive by them, first play actually, was fumbled by quarterback John Rhodes. So we've seen this issue on both teams now in the skirmish. It's a snap and handoff through the middle. It's number 3, Tyron Marshall again for the Wolves. He's been one of the biggest playmakers for this West team.
Yeah, and a great job by Marshall just to pound that thing up the gut, able to move the chains for the Wolves. And they ran a lot outside, and the Vikings were starting to figure it out, so why not try it up the middle? You may see West run that a little more throughout the game as an adjustment. Adjustments have been playing a key part into this game.
As they do every game, Jacob, the Wolves with a first down at the opposing 45. Clock is running, and it's snapped and handed off to Marshall yet again. He's going to run through again. This time, Vikings have great coverage down the middle.
And this is why the Vikings are leading right now. They have been locking. This is why the Vikings are down. My apologies, but it's just been great plays like that all game, able just to wrap up on the defensive line. They have struggled a little bit covering outside, but they have been adjusting all game.
Certainly now 2nd and 10 for the Wolves. Clean slate on yardage. Motion and handoff. And he breaks through. It's number 2, Ihel. 5 and touchdown Wolves. It's number 2, Ihel Khan. And that's how they're going to open it up here. Strong by the Wolves.
Yeah, just a nice clean run there by Niles West. He just takes it down the sideline and is able to find good space, and he just won the foot race. It's hard. It's hard once he gets space like that, and overall, not a good job by the Vikings defense. But West able to gain a little more momentum going into this second half.
Yeah, and Khan's been a bit of a sleeper here for the Wolves. No one really expected him, but he'll come out, break away with great plays like that. Extra point is good. Don't think he did better than Addison Lockerbie for the sandwiches, but it will be 14 for the Wolves. Vikings ready to take it down 8.
Sub above with that kick. Just nice clean snap, clean hold. Great job by Niles West, and they are going to take an 8-point lead. And it looks like head coach Gary Butler is in the middle of the field having some strong words for number 8 Josh Regis. Very strong words. He's still on the field.
Hey, I mean, it shows the passion as a coach. You love to see it. That's one of the strengths that Coach Gary Butler brings to this new North program. Special teams coming out. The Wolves cheerleaders looking hype. Again, the student section riled up. Our own student section ready to see a Vikings score on this drive. As both teams prepare. Gary Butler talking to the official. But now the Wolves will get ready for kickoff. Or to kickoff, rather.
And certainly, and Ali Kuros, Josh Regis, back deep. Regis with some strong words that he heard from Butler. Maybe drawing up something.
Can't help but notice the lack of thunderclap on that one as it goes taken by the Viking and brought down. I mean, it looked like he had his legs ready, but just doesn't go.
Yeah, but still overall, good field position for the Vikings. They're going to set up shop just past the 30, maybe the 31. They're going to call it the 32, actually. So hopefully the Vikings can make something happen finally offensively.
Yeah, well, let's see if their OC recently got some energy in the form of a concessions burger. So now looking ready for some play calling tonight.
Yeah, shout out to the cheeseburgers at the concession stand. I've been eating them at halftime in my time calling games here, and they are delicious. Love the Montreal steak seasoning. It's so good.
Yeah, and they are, of course, provided by the Niles North Booster Club. That's nnabc.org to join for benefits. Here's the handoff to Kuros, and maybe not a gain. And we're seeing the Vikings rely on Kuros now like they were in the Grenadiers game, which they ended up losing pretty rough. Also spreading Kuros kind of thin, especially as he plays on both sides of the ball. We're going to see him not be as effective in the second.
Yeah, they're gonna target Ali a lot, but you got to be careful. The wear and tear is definitely a factor into this game. With Ali Kuros getting the most ball, that means West knows his number, and they are going for blood there. So you got to be careful. You can't target Ali Kuros too much, especially if you want him in the long run of this game. As I say that, he's running it up the gut, and he finds space outside. I don't believe he got a first down there, but a great run there by Kuros.
Yeah, Kiros, and flag on the play quite late. Did you see what it was, Jacob?
No, I'm not quite sure what the flag was. This late, it could have been potentially some kind of unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, especially given the beef between these two teams, both in Skokie, Illinois, one of the toughest battles in the state. Butler not impressed with whatever the officials have to say. And that ball is going to move back. Offensive holding will make it 2nd and trying to find the stick, 9.
And holding is a play killer. And just you can't do that, Anthony. You got to be careful. If you're an offensive lineman, you got to be careful with your blocking there, especially when you're right in front of the official. You know, when I play, one of the things I was coached, though, was everyone holds. It is a matter of fact. A lot of people hold. It's a matter of getting caught. So getting caught red-handed there, right in front of the official, just an absolute play killer.
Here's a Coral. It's a Coral with the incompletion. No possession by the Vikings, so it's not a fumble, but tipped. Could have been a pretty bad int.
I'm sorry, an int? I'm assuming you mean an interception.
Yeah, it's slang for interception. That's what they're saying nowadays.
I have never heard that, but nonetheless, great job to avoid the pick there. Scary play right there on the interception, not the int.
I mean, they say tutty, you know. They say ol for the O lineman. That's what I'm hearing.
They don't say int.
You're just not hip to the game like I am, Jacob.
You're not hip to the game.
Hey, here's Socorro, ball in his hands, looking for the pass. Bullet to the Viking for the first down. On the reception is number 5, Kelvin Michael.
You know who is hip to the game? Kelvin McHale, able to use his hips to just lunge forward for the first down. A great play right there by McHale.
Now we're going to get a new set of downs at the 46. Vikings looking good on the drive. So love to see Socorro with the confidence for the pass. This time he will resort to Kiros for a short gain, maybe 1 or 2. And Kiros will be the ball carrier yet again for a short gain. Now 2nd and 9 for the Vikings with 6:45 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Good group of guys in the backfield, and Gary Butler looking and immediately tipped, causing the incompletion by number 9 of the Wolves, Braden Cuffle.
Yeah, incomplete. I think he was targeting Davon Robinson, and we saw that a little bit in the Elk Grove game. Squirrel trying to hit Robinson, but every time it seems to throw to him, he can never quite place it right. Did not have the best placement in the Elk Grove game, and not good placement there. He was able to hit Robinson early on in the 1st quarter, so there is offense moving with Robinson. Overall, though, nothing able really to happen there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long. Squirrel drops back.
Oh, looking at Socorro pass taken in, and then some by Davon Robinson, number 88 for the Vikings. What a great, I mean, you saw him grab it, taken straight in.
Man, he might have heard me up here, Anthony. He took that personally. Great grab there by Robinson, able to just shovel on through, able to really push forward for that 1st down.
And the big guy gets the 1st down. Snap to Socorro, making it quick, and going to be an incompletion. Could you see who that was on the far side?
Yeah, pass was intended for number 15, Adonis Williams, and it was a lot of ball and a lot of body just flying everywhere.
Yeah, definitely, but great quick efforts by Socorro on the pass. Not something that we're used to, but he's getting more comfortable with it, and it's working out on this drive at least. Socorro will return to the huddle. as they break. The Vikings got 1st and 10 from the Wolves 35. They're 2nd and 10. Williams with a motion. And timeout by the Vikings. Their 1st of the half.
Yeah, Gary Butler did not like what he was seeing there. Great timeout there, and someone was out of place. Has some strong words for number 68, Darion Brown Clay. Coming in for him is number 69, Big Daniel Kim. So just a miscommunication overall, and you can't be having that, especially in a close game like this against Niles West. This is a team they haven't beat in a while, and they just got to be careful. They can't be doing miscommunications like this. I think if they are able to be more in sync, we could be shouting for Viking victory at the end of this game. But overall, they got to get to that level of chemistry.
Yeah, and Coach Butler agrees as he comes off the field. Vikings reapproaching the line of scrimmage. Still 2nd and 10. Now the Wolves are going to come back. Just 35 yards out from that end zone. Motion and fake it. It'll be Socorro trying to run through. Big hit on him by number 11 of the Wolves, Nathaniel Belay.
You know, one of Socorro's quiet abilities is his legs. Socorro can bounce it outside, and he can make some good room when he has some open green grass. Just able to get good yardage there. Just bursts through and overall gives the Vikings a much better situation on 3rd down. 3rd and 6 now.
Yeah, definitely doable for the Vikings. And shout out to Socorro, who puts the student in student athlete. We had a class quiz today and probability and statistics honors. Guy was leading the charge, helping everyone out. So shout out Socorro, student athlete. He's going to run that again out of bounds for a loss of maybe 1 or 2, Jacob. And I'll bring up 4th down. What do you think the Vikings do here?
I mean, it's hard. They're not quite in field goal range for the kicker Chatry. They could go for it here. I wouldn't be totally opposed to that. It looks like they are going to go for it. I think this is a good move by the Vikings. They're in no man's land. It's too late in the game, and they're too far up for a punt. I think they can make something happen here.
Certainly. Coral awaits the snap. He's got Kiros in the backfield. But he's going to go for the pass. And scrambling in the backfield. So Coral winds up. Oh my goodness. And the receiver, looks like it's number 1, Zach Hempen, just stops the run a little early, can't get it.
Yeah, just Nick Socorro couldn't quite place it. And good job by number 2 on the Wolves, Ahil Khan. It looks like he was about to give him a little bit of a shove, but it was able to not be careful to not draw the pass interference. So able to lock up there, and the Wolves are going to take over on down with time winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Just over 5 minutes left.
Yeah, Khan, one of the cleanest players here on this Wolves team. And West is going to get ready for the drive. Snapped and handed off to 34, who finally comes down after a long battle with several Vikings for a gain of 3. Now 2nd and 7 for the Wolves. Ball carrier was number 34, Ivana Pegorlich, of course, one of the big playmakers for the Wolves. Butler making sure everything's in check as the Wolves struggle and lose yardage.
Well, it looks like everything was, in fact, in check. Great play there by the Vikings. And it looks like number 52, Shiloh Martinez, in on the TKFL. And Martinez, he's been sidelined with an injury, I believe, the past couple of weeks. He's back for this game, and he's been pretty decent, able to get through there. And that's going to bring up third and 8.
Under 4 minutes now. Clock rolling as the Wolves look for the motion. And it'll be number 2 taking it, Ahil Khan. And going far, finally taken down with a pretty big gain. I think that run was maybe 25 yards, Jacob.
Yeah, give or take, but just a great run there by Khan. Just making good space, bouncing it outside, and just catching the Vikings lacking there. Great run there by Niles West.
Khan again, a sleeper, but a standout here now against North. Wolves, 1st and 10. Fresh slate from the opposing 46. And it'll be a run taken down the middle.
And taken down by number 92, Peter Bunis, with an absolutely clean tackle there. Wrapped up very well. Able to prevent that from any more. I saw Spencer Pearl, number 47, trying to get there. He couldn't quite get the tackle down, so great job by Bunis to read where the ball carrier is going and just bring him down for a minimal gain.
Be 2nd and 6 with 2.5 remaining in the third. Got a strong backfield here from the Wolves. Snap and the run by number 1, John Rhodes, the QB. Was not expecting that. He hasn't been pretty mobile tonight.
And it is a little bit of a surprise. In doing research for this game, I saw that versus Elk Grove and versus Schaumburg, Rhodes was able to make a lot happen with his feet. He's very shifty too, able to cut really well into the turf. But he surprisingly hasn't used his legs a whole lot. I mean, his offensive line's been blocking pretty well for him, so that could potentially be why he's feeling safe in the pocket throughout the game. But overall, it may be a case of him not utilizing one of his most valuable assets.
Certainly, Rhodes awaits. And who moved first, Jacob?
And it actually appears to be a timeout on the Wolves.
Well, Coach Terreso saves it. Be their first timeout of the half. What are they talking about down there?
I think Terreso is telling his team, you guys are in a great spot right now. They are up 14-6. They are up 8, which is a great spot to be in, especially with the Vikings, who haven't gotten a lot of work on offense. I think he is telling them, keep driving down the field. We score one more time. That's going to put the Vikings into even more hot water. And as for Gary Butler, I think he's telling his boys, lock in. It's go time. You gotta lock up tight. Make sure West cannot make any big plays happen. And overall, get the turnover here. That is crucial, to just get the turnover here. So that's going to bring up 3rd down for the Wolves.
Yeah, 3rd and a half for the Wolves. Handoff to 34. Oh my goodness, the 20, the 10, and not stopped quick enough. It's touchdown Wolves. Carrier number 34, Ivana Pogorelic. All those runs finally paying off for him as the Wolves hit 2-0.
Yeah, just an absolutely great run there by Pogorelic. Just challenging the Vikings to a foot race, which they're winning every time. From my vantage, it looked like Grom Oslin stopped him short of the first down, so You know, if he was able to, if I'm Coach Gary Butler, I maybe would challenge that. But overall, though, the official say goes, and West is going to take a 15-point lead in the third quarter.
Yeah, I didn't think the knee was down short, though. Great extension of the body by Pegorlich to get that touchdown. 21-6 is the score with 1.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And you can probably hear the wind again taking the hatch to our press box. I keep trying to reopen it, but I think I'm going to leave it alone at this point, Jacob.
Yeah, this one is crazy, Anthony. By the end of this, we might be dropped off in Oz.
Yeah, definitely will be affecting the play too. But we have seen Socorro be more willing to go for the passes. Not something that we usually see from him.
And this just in, there is a Wicked Witch under Chuck Post Stadium.
Well, at any rate, the Wolves breaking out, getting ready for the kick. Looks like we got Kiros in the backfield, as is, or not backfield, sorry, far back on the field, as is Joshua Regis, number 8 for the Vikings. Here's the kick, and it's high flying. Viking taken down immediately. And flag on the play. Do you think it was just maybe roughing?
Yeah, something like that. That hit did not look very clean, Anthony. It was hard to see from this angle. Could potentially be a targeting. He seemed to be leading with his helmet. Hard to tell. But let's see what the call is. This is at least 15 yards for the Vikings, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mean to say roughing. Maybe more roughhousing. So I'm just using some of that football slang.
Yeah, like int.
I don't know. I've been seeing it all around the sports media. But yeah, that ball is going to get moved up.
Personal foul against Niles West.
Personal foul on West.
15-yard penalty.
Be 15 yards up for the Vikings and got the advantage. Now ready to go. Brings it split down to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, setting up shop in excellent field position. Hopefully the Vikings can capitalize. They've been struggling on offense all game and been making opportunities happen overall. Let's see what they do here. Squirrel drops back, looking long. Hempen incomplete, and there is a flag on the field. Potentially could be some pass interference on the Wolves. Also, I noticed that the Niles West student section was doing the wave, and it is a personal foul. On who? We're not quite sure. And it's going to be roughing the passer. So give the Vikings 15 there. They're adding up here.
Crazy how the most efficient ball carrier has been the official and the flag for the Vikings. It speaks to, the Vikings being more clean on the play, but also shows a bit of a weakness. They can't get that ball moving as much as they'd want, despite Socorro and the boys' best efforts.
Yeah, but they are getting bailed out with these flags here, so it's great. So it's great to see that there is at least a little bit of production, and here comes Kiros pounding it up the middle. No flags on that one. And it's going to bring up second down.
Yeah, it does move the ball 2 yards. It's Kiros.
And it looks like we have an injured Viking on the field.
We have an injury timeout.
There is a timeout on the field. We'll rejoin you shortly.
Fans, we can visit the 8-18 snap
We've got an injured Viking here, unfortunate to see. But we've got the trainers down there, Dennis Makis, Don Palmer, and Joe Paywall helping out. And shout out to them and their student medical interns and club participants. Got a lot of people in sports medicine at Niles North, one of the most popular clubs here. They've been supporting our staff tonight. We will take a quick break as the Vikings take a knee. And it's number 65, Julius Caban, getting up, walking off the field. Great Viking grit by him, despite the big hit. Under a minute to go in the third, despite what the scorebook says. And that clock is running. Vikings can maybe get one or two more plays off in the third quarter. Be Socorro juking the pass, and now first sack of the game. 29 seconds and the clock is running.
You can't second guess that, Anthony. Socorro, he thought he saw a man open downfield, but then he just last minute couldn't decide what he wanted to do. And because he was so indecisive, that gave the Niles West defensive line just enough time to bring him down for the sack. 3 Wolves getting in there.
Yeah, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter as both teams consult with their head coaches on the plans for the final quarter of the Skokie Skirmish.
Yes, certainly, Anthony. And it looks like we have 1 minute to raise money for the connection of homelessness, per our PA announcer.
Yeah, doing some fundraising here at Chuck Post Stadium. We'll have a hyperlink for you in the coming minutes. But I do believe that the people at Chuck Post have been very charitable tonight.
Certainly, Anthony. So it's going to be 3rd and long for the Vikings. The hatch to our press box has been slammed closed by the wind again. Anthony going to check that out. Meanwhile, it's just me. Socorro drops back and able to hit Hempen there. Not a first down, but a good gain there by the Vikings. But it is going to bring up 4th down. And apologies with the score bug issues. It is not the start of the 4th quarter. It is the 4th quarter. 11:35 right now with the clock ticking. And the Vikings going for it.
Yeah, it'll be 4th and 9. And if you do want to support, you can check out omela.com/U36HT. Poor timing, as that's almost picked off. It is, no matter what, a turnover.
Although it was not picked off, that was actually a very high IQ play there by number 10 on the Wolves, Avner Andrew. If he picks that off, then he potentially gets taken down, and Niles West does not get the yardage as they would on the turnover on downs. So great football IQ and great football awareness as West is in a great position, up 2 scores. in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they're going to start off at the 35-yard line, their own, with just over 11 minutes left to play. Handoff and almost taken immediately. The O-line, oh my goodness. The Viking defender spun around like a ballerina with the Wolf, but the O-line showing some cracks.
Yeah, great elusiveness by the Niles West running back. Overall, though, it was fairly sloppy tackling by the Vikings. They were high, very high. When you're tackling, you got to get low. You got to get low, go for the legs. And it looked like Josh Regis, who did go on the tackle, it seemed he almost was going kind of towards the armpits, and it didn't quite bring him down right away. Overall, though, taking down the backfield, so who am I to complain?
Yeah, there you go. 10.5 in the skirmish. Snap and a handoff. Number 12 for the Wolves, Christian Guzman, one of the biggest runners for this team, and taken down pretty late. Be a gain of 23.
Nice big hit there by number 6, Ram Aslan. A great player on both sides of the ball. Absolute laying him out there.
Yeah, certainly. I didn't know Aslan plays on both sides, but doing a great job. A lot of players for the Vikings doing double duty and doing pretty all right in both respects.
Yes, certainly, Anthony. It's a tall task, but the Vikings live up to it very well.
Here come the Wolves now at the opposing 43. Snap. And hand it off to 2. Oh my goodness, finally down short of that first down. It's Ahel Khan.
And number 92, Peter Boonis, flying in once more. He's been great tonight. He's been flying, making tackles left and right. He's just been covering the field very well. West does get a decent gain there. 2nd and 2 will be what they call it.
Yeah, looks like a bit of an issue here. Wolves will move up. Did you see the call?
I did not quite. They might have just given him the first down.
Yeah, looking definitely like a flag. Personal foul will move that ball up to the 20-yard line. Clock now running. Scary position. The Vikings defense has got to put the pressure on. There's the snap and handoff to number 3, Marshall. And finally taken with a big move by number 5 of the Vikings, Kelvin Mickle.
And I also saw Ali Kuros coming in there, giving him a little bit of the gator roll. He is quite a freak athlete. Anthony, can we play that clip one more time of Ali Kuros?
I think we're done with the clip, but no, hey, maybe to end out the stream. Now the Wolves are in the huddle with the running clock. 8.5 to go. Wolves looking to put themselves up another 6. Motion and sloppy handoff by Rhodes. It's going to be a loss of yards for the Wolves.
And Spencer Pearl coming in once again. He is quite an amazing defensive playmaker for the Vikings. He's been consistent in these past games, and he comes up clutch right there, able to prevent West from moving the ball as much as they would like here late. Overall, though, West is in great scoring position. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, just 10, maybe 9 yards away. Big opportunity for the Wolves to make it even harder for the Viking comeback. And the defense stops number 3, Marshall, just short by 3 yards of that goal line. Running clock still.
And here come the Vikings. They are getting aggressive up front. and they have to. Niles West is knocking on the door. If Niles North doesn't make a play here, then they could be in deep jeopardy with time winding down here in the Skokie Skirmish.
Certainly now under 7 minutes to go. Wolves Rhodes in control of the play. Another handoff. And short, no, he makes it touchdown Wolves. Yet another to put them to 27.
And a great run there by Niles West. Not going down without a fight. He's able to reach out there, really get the ball over the end zone. It kind of reminds me of, the climax of Space Jam. Michael Jordan, stretching his arm out there, and you kind of saw a little bit down there from the Wolves. They're going to take a late lead here in the game.
Yeah, well, they're extending that lead, rather. Extra point is good. The Wolves now up 22 with 6:41 remaining in the Skokie Skirmish.
Yeah, it's not likely for the Vikings to come out with a V for Viking victory at the end of this one. Overall, though, miracles have happened. And as you say, Anthony, anything is possible in high school sports. Overall, though, I think the Vikings got to lock in right now. If they want to win this game, then they need a quick score. Get a quick score here and capitalize on the onside kick. They work the onside kick very well. They practice it a good chunk. So definitely something to watch out for. But in the meantime, West is going to kick it off, and the Vikings, they got to score, and they got to score quick.
Yeah, it's only 3 scores, which I suppose is doable in the allotted time, but it'll be a struggle for the Vikings. Haven't been very efficient on offense during the game. In fact, they haven't had an offensive score. The 6 was put up by Tommy Vo on defense. It'll be 89 from the Wolves. Luka Sajovic lining up. He's ready to go, and it's long. Gonna go for the touchback.
A great read there by Ali Quiros, making sure that ball is going in the back of the end zone. That's not going to waste any time for the Vikings. They're going to set up 1st and 10 at around the 20, and it's go time. Got to get a score here, Anthony.
Definitely. We could be seeing some big passes from Socorro, as at this point, there's not much to lose, only room to gain. So with 6:41, the Vikings need to make up 22 points to bring this one to overtime. Vikings lined up. Interesting formation by the line. Gives Socorro the chance to get the pass, and incomplete at the worst possible time, Kelvin.
Kelvin McKell, he drops that, and he knows he shouldn't have. She just absolutely demoralized after that play. Almost looking like Will Levis at the end of the Bears game week 1. Y'all know the image.
Yeah, I mean, understandably so. You don't want to disappoint your team like that, but they're going to keep on fighting. I also want to note the vertical gaps on the O-line off that play. Led Socorro into a scramble and wasn't able to get good feed on it. Also contributing to the tough play. Here's a run now from Grom Oslin, and this is what the Vikings need. He's running. He's at the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, 10 yards away. It's touchdown, Grom Oslin, for your Niles North Vikings.
Here we go, Anthony. Here we go. Grom Oslin with a full head of speed, able to take that thing down the sideline, and now, Anthony, the Vikings have secured it within 2 scores, or at least they will after this PAT, hopefully. And this is where you got to lock in.
Yeah, and more importantly, they did it in 20 seconds off the game clock. So now they're going to go for the extra point, not risking the 2-pointer just yet. And off the deflection, it's good. Vikings with 13 within 2 big scores of the rival Wolves in the Skokie Skirmish.
Yeah, certainly, Anthony. And there's not a lot of time left, so I think we're going to see an onside kick by the Vikings. And the Vikings, they're very good with the onside kick. They work it. Butler makes sure that the Vikings work it a lot. And, you know, at the Leiden game on the road, they actually opened up the game with an onside kick and got it. So, interesting to see.
Yeah, good to be prepared on those types of scripts for situations like these. Vikings with 13. The boys hyped. And we've got just above 6 minutes to go in the game. Still possible for the Vikings.
Yeah, certainly, Anthony. I see head coach Gary Butler counting out his boys, telling them it's go time. A crucial kickoff to come.
Yeah. Assistant coach Michael Lowe also down there helping out. Coming out is number 37 for the Vikings, Eddie Yalda. Jacob and one of our camera people, Jason Schmitz, attempting the Viking thunderclap from inside. And the momentum stopped by the wind. Another chance here for the Vikings.
Oh, there goes the wind again, Anthony. The wind has been quite a wonky factor into this game.
And here they go now. And oh my goodness, Vikings unable to get on it. That was dangerous. Wolves very lucky. And flag on the play. Multiple within traffic. Could you see the call?
No, but there was something scrappy going on, and I saw number 10, Anthony Gonzalez, being held back by number 56, Ben Lee. Something was going on down there, and neither side likes it.
Yeah, especially the Vikings still in a position to potentially take the game back. You don't want to lose it off of beef. And Butler making sure his team is in check on the sideline. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Classless. You can't be getting into each other's faces, especially this late in the game. Number 10, Anthony Gonzalez, he's lucky that the Wolves bit back a little bit. Otherwise, the Vikings would be looking in worse shape than they already are in. Overall, though, Niles West likely going to try to run out the clock here with a series of runs. And there are flags on the field before the snap. Might be a false start.
Yeah, waiting for the official call here. But nothing's helpful to these Vikings unless it results in a turnover. It's going to be a false start on the Niles West Wolves. Moving back a few, and you know, while I doubt we'll see Rhodes throwing the football in this position, makes an interception a lot easier to turn into a pick six.
Yes, certainly. The Vikings still do have 2 timeouts, and head coach Gary Butler most definitely going to use them here. He has to. He has no choice. a first down essentially wins Niles West this game.
Wolves now ready to go. Snap and handoff to 34. Oh, he's breaking through, but stopped by the Viking on the ground.
I didn't quite see who laid him out there, but able to just get him short. It looks like it was Ali Kuros there, bringing him down.
Yeah, and another great run by the Wolves, number 34, Ivano Pegorelic. That clock is running now under 6 minutes. Second and short for the Wolves. Rhodes awaiting the snap. And it'll be a handoff to Pegorelic yet again. Some big distance. Definitely a first down, and then maybe 11 extra yards, Jacob. I'll stop the clock at 5:29.
Yeah, certainly. Great run there by Niles West. And timeout is finally called by the Vikings. And it's not looking too good for the Skokie Skirmish coming back to Lawler.
Yeah, although I still think, Vikings put enough pressure on, they could get something done.
I mean, I think at this point, your best bet is to try to strip that ball. Strip the ball, fall on it, maybe get a scoop and score. We saw it earlier with Tommy Vo. That would be huge for the Vikings. That is how the Vikings crawl back into this game. However, they got to make plays right now. It's 1st and 10 for Niles West, and they're in great field position.
Certainly, both teams coming out now. 5.5 on the clock. Got some boomsticks on the field. And some other trash presumably put onto the field by the Niles West fans. And we await the snap from the Wolves. Low snap and run. Stopped for short yardage. And the Wolves are being methodical about this, but they don't expect the Vikings to be able to strip the ball so easily. And he's got a tight grasp on it, so they're definitely trying to prevent the turnover.
Very much so, and it looks like Gary Butler having some strong words for his team. Vibe here at beautiful Chuck Post Stadium, noticeably quieter. A good portion of the student section has cleared out, trying to go home early. They think it's over. I beg to differ.
It ain't over till it's over. So now with 4:45, the Wolves hand off for a loss of yards. Oh my goodness. Clock is still running. And Butler's trying to get a call, not sure on what. And clock is stopped. Didn't see any timeout indication. Did you see who it was on, Jacob?
No, I did not quite see who was on. I see head coach Gary Butler talking to one of the line judges. May have been a premature timeout. I'm not exactly sure what is going on, but the clock is stopped. Alas, the Vikings still have one more remaining.
Yeah, not sure what it is. Both teams come out of their respective huddles. And there's still a lot of clock to manage, so yeah, we don't know who called that timeout. But it's important to note that the Wolves have already shed 2 minutes off the clock just about. Looking to retain. And here's the handoff for a gain. Butler staying nearby the official as the clock continues to run. It's number 12, Christian Guzman, carrying that one, I believe.
Yeah, and the Vikings couldn't quite force him out of bounds to stop the clock. So this clock is still running, and head coach Gary Butler electing not to use his timeout yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. They still have 2 more scores to go, assuming they can get it done. So, again, there's a lot of clock to manage. Butler fixing the positioning. And flag on the play. Does stop the clock. And it's a false start by Niles West on 4th down. 5 yards back they go.
Well, that's definitely going to help the Vikings a little bit. That brings up 4th down, it looks like. And West could go for it to essentially salt away the game. Might kick a field goal here. Just to a made field goal here will certainly make things way harder for the Vikings, going up 3 scores.
Yeah, looks like got the unit out to punt, actually.
Interesting choice.
And low, he's got contact, and that ball is loose. It's still loose. Oh my goodness, the Wolves take it. And that could have been big for the Vikings. Instead, sends the Wolves back. But it's still Viking ball on the 4th down. I was getting nervous there. Suppose it was in the Vikings' better interest to keep knocking it back.
I mean, certainly a scoop and score would have been the jolt of energy the Vikings would have needed, but overall, just a great play there by the Vikings just to get it, recognize the snap, and we have a man down on the field. An injured Wolf, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't see anything go on. His legs could have just given out on after cramping. But let me say something controversial here. I think the Vikings can run this ball 40 yards in 3.5 minutes.
That is quite a bold take, Anthony. Now I'm thinking the Vikings are probably not going to draw up many runs here. I think if I'm head coach Gary Butler, I'm drawing up a pass here, something deep, something to get things moving.
Yeah, but we know Skokie is not necessarily confident in his receivers on big passes like that. We saw him get that last touchdown via Grom Oslin on the run.
Yeah, but Skokie's options are kind of limited right now. You run the ball, the clock it runs the clock. And the Vikings, they only have 1 timeout left, so you can't really afford to run the clock.
Well, let's see. You got Skokie. Big pass, complete and out of bounds to number 5 of the Vikings, Kelvin.
And that's why you passed on that situation, Anthony. Able to find McKell wide open, and he runs out of bounds wisely to stop the clock. And here come the Vikings. They're moving a little bit.
Yeah, they moved down by 14 yards for the 1st down. Great IQ by Kelvin McKell to step out of bounds immediately. And you got to note the poor coverage by the Wolves on the pass. Definitely contributing there as Skokie gets ready for another. He's got it looking for the pass down the sideline. Intercepted by the Wolves. It's number 6. Maddox Niedermeyer, and a flag on the play. I'm going to imagine unsportsmanlike.
And unsportsmanlike. And potentially I saw a little bit of pushing and shoving there. This could be a PI on West, but I'm not exactly sure.
Well, given how late the flag was, I wouldn't be so confident in that call. Obviously, it'd be ideal for the Vikings. And it's a personal foul on West and North. They'll cancel out, and we get to replay the down.
Offsetting personal foul.
And West I believe, is going to take up shop here. And that is certainly the dagger. Overall, though, the Vikings putting up a great fight throughout the game. Overall, great job by both of these teams throughout this game. But by the looks of it, the Skokie Skirmish is remaining on Oakton Street.
Well, with 3.5, who knows? Big run. Well, I think the Wolves, number 3, Tyron Marshall knows. At the 30, the 20, the 10. And it'll be touchdown for the Wolves late in the game. 34 points. Probably going to secure it.
Probably, but interesting to note there, Anthony, the Vikings are going to get the ball back. Potentially, the Vikings can get a quick score and with some luck with the onside kick, this actually may not have been a wise choice by Niles West.
Yeah, well, I mean, 3 scores in 3 minutes. I would be very surprised, but I suppose anything's possible in high school ball, Jacob. Official almost popping out his leg, trying to get rid of the boom whacker from the field. For the extra point, that's going to be good. 35 for the Wolves. Up 22 again against the Vikings. That Oslin touchdown made irrelevant by the response from Tyron Marshall. And with 3:10 left in the game, gonna be very tricky for the Vikings to get anything done. I mean, let's say you were tasked with drawing stuff up here. What are you running?
I mean, Vikings get the ball back. I'm trying to Hail Mary it right out the gate. 4 verticals, just send everybody. And Niles West, they struggle to cover vertical routes, and something I've noticed in my research for this game. So it's interesting to see. Overall, I did see head coach Gary Butler gather the team right before the kickoff, having some strong words for all of them. So Coach Butler, a notorious motivator, could be interesting to see what the Vikings do this late in the game.
Yeah, your plan relies on the arm of Socorro. Been untested in game situations, but we could see him shine, make up for that int. And ball rolls off the block. Wolves with another chance. Rolls off again. Quite laborious here by all Wolves involved.
Hey, remember what I said, consider a holder? Look what they're considering. So Niles West going to hold, and it kicks away.
That's a beautiful one. Just long and touchback, but with 3 minutes left, that's a field position the Wolves shouldn't be too mad at that they've given the Vikings.
And a big play is needed right here at the. This is late right here in the 4th quarter, and the game is not over. The Vikings have the ball, so I think honestly the biggest key right now is just to not get demotivated. This game is not over. If Socorro can make a big play here, then I think the Vikings can crawl back into this. Not very likely though, as Niles West has just done a great job all game on slowing down the Vikings.
Yeah, and Coach Butler's also out of timeouts here. We did correct the scoreboard on it. So now he's left with 0. No way to manage the clock once it's in the Wolves' hands. Will be a timeout, though, by the Wolves. What do you think they'd be talking about down there, Jacob?
I don't really know what much else there is to talk about it. Just make sure the Vikings don't do anything here. And then after that, where they're going to eat after dinner. This Niles West is confident. They've done a great job all game slowing down the Vikings, and they're happy, as it's a good possibility that the Skokie Skirmish trophy will stay on Oakton Street.
Well, 3:10 to go. Vikings still appear to be motivated. Socorro coming out. Got Grom Oslin in the backfield, open for a repeat of that last score. And there's the play, caught by Hempen down the middle, and he is taken down short of the first down.
And not a ton of sense of urgency from the Vikings. Actually, no, there is quite a sense of urgency. Vikings quickly get back to the line.
2nd and 1. Socorro probably doesn't care about that 1 yard, though. And pass down the sideline is complete to number 15, Williams.
And hurry, hurry, hurry. Clock is winding down. Williams able to haul it in. And it's going to bring up first down.
Yeah, big situation here. Clock running. Socorro with the arm. Williams again, but he stays in bounds. This clock is running. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the skirmish. And now the Vikings slowing it down.
And the Vikings are starting to move a little bit. The clock is not their friend right now, and no timeouts, so they got to make something happen, and they got to make something happen quick. Overall, though, Vikings offense showing a little light.
Yeah, now it's under 2 minutes to go. Socorro scrambling, running around, and he's going to have to take it himself. Heroic play, great block. Flag is out, and Socorro keeps on going. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 17. Is a flag on the play, though. I think it might have been on that big block by the Vikings.
Yeah, I have a good feeling this is coming back at the Vikings, and they seem to know it. They're already making their way back. Overall, though, Socorro really showing his legs there and making stuff happen, but it's going to be all for nothing, as this is most certainly getting called back.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be at the spot, but they'll be taking quite a ways. Yeah, I think it was 10 yards from the spot. So the clock is now running yet again. Vikings keeping up with the game despite the score. And Socorro with an incompletion. Target was number 15, Adonis Williams.
Yeah, not the most accurate throw there. Williams cannot one-hand catch it from the floor. Overall, though, just not a good play.
Yeah, unfortunate. The Vikings are panicking, but I think the result of this game might be a foregone conclusion at this point. Third down for the Vikings at the 49. Snap is off, and Socorro, the quick pass to Grom Oslin, knocked out of bounds for first down.
Yeah, good job by Oslin to get out of bounds, stopping the clock. And it's going to be first down. Great play. So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
And there's the flag. Looks like the Wolf jumped first.
It is offsides on Niles West. Good job by Nick Sikora to point that out. And that's going to help the Vikings a bit. Going to make it 1st and 5.
Yeah, 1:08 on the clock. Sikora ready to let one rip. It's a big one, big air. And caught for a touchdown. The Vikings put up yet another score. TD by number 15, Adonis Williams, 19-35 with just above 1 minute to go. Jacob, I don't want to sound crazy here, but I think we might still have a chance.
I mean, the chance is there, but it is very slim, Anthony. A great play, though, by Williams, just able to haul it in with Sikora, hitting him on the vertical, and it's something Niles West struggles with covering a lot. But overall, just a great play there by the Vikings, and an onside kick won by the Vikings, and all of a sudden, something's a brewing.
Yeah, 2 scores away yet again. 1:01 is on the clock. I wonder what the offensive minds are thinking down there at New North. Bit of discussion, though. There's a flag on the extra point. It's on West. And it looks like it's going to be revised. I'm not sure here.
I mean, either way, it looks like Chatry is going to retry this field goal. Or PAT as. And he sinks it.
Gets the pat.
Indeed.
That's some new gen slang in the football world that they're saying with 1:01 on the clock.
I think you're making up this slang. I've never heard this in my life.
Search it up.
What source?
I mean, you know, the internet. Everything you see on the internet's true, Jacob.
Don't listen to this man's advice.
Hey, but you should listen to our librarians and our tech department who provide great advice and service to students on the web. You know, I mean, 21st century skills, big in the job marketplace nowadays. And Niles Township High School District 219 breathes it. You know, they get everyone involved. Every student gets a Chromebook of their own to do work and develop those 21st century skills. So we've got great resources in the district for that.
Yeah, I love my Chromebook, Anthony. Currently, it's dead.
Yeah, I think the protective rubber, just to prevent it from cracking on a drop, is not doing too hot right now.
No, I mean, like, the battery's dead.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying mine, you know. I don't treat it very well. But, hey, that's what they're built for. Onside kick taken by the Wolves. So, unsuccessful for the Vikings.
And that's game, Anthony. West is coming out. It's victory formation, likely. And overall, head coach Gary Butler just trying to play everybody. Trying to get as many people on the field as possible.
Yeah, big battle here at the Skokie Skirmish tonight. But the Wolves will come out victorious, continue the streak since the 2020 season. And it's going to be victory formation for the Wolves. They'll have to do a second.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough to watch. This has been a hard-fought game for both sides. But overall, West was the better team. And one more kneel down, and just like that, the trophy stays on Oakton. No, we have one more. Maybe.
Well, I believe that's going to do it for us here at Niles North High School for the 2024 Skokie Skirmish. Unfortunate, but your Niles North Vikings lose this one 20-35. Yeah, I mean, Jacob, what did you like from both sides?
What I will say is, this was probably the best played game by the Vikings all season. They were, they were able to figure things out on offense and able to keep it close for most of the game, just not able to lock down in the second quarter. And as for Niles West, they were able to dominate. They lived up to the hype of this rivalry, and they were overall doing a great job. And they secure the Skokie Skirmish trophy to be stayed in Oakton Street.
Yeah, we got there, Jacob. But hey, we hope you all have a great night, no matter what side of town you're from. Sure, you appreciated the game, and we thank you for your time. If you want to keep up with the Niles North Vikings, you can subscribe here on YouTube at NN Viking Media. You can follow us on X at NN Viking Media. And always tune in for a stream. You can go to nnvikings.com. We'll take you straight here. Jacob, any closing thoughts?
Hard scenes as the Vikings fall to 0-5. Hopefully, as we close out the season, we could see hopefully a little momentum going down the stretch. Overall, though, gloomy sights here at Chuck Post Stadium.
Well, from all of us here at Niles North Viking Media, I'm Anthony Bramley.
And I'm Jacob Ornstein.
We got Jason Schmitz and Bilal Hamid down here as well, and David Kishkevich, and we all wish you a fantastic night.